Hello everybody. This video is all going to be about the negativity bias, specifically loss aversion. So in the early days of economics theory, it was thought that, utility theory was the rule of the day. And for many economists, utility theory is still the rule of the day. But some psychologists by the name of Kahneman and Tversky did some research and found that utility theory isn't, and I guess economists already kind of knew this, utility theory doesn't always predict how people spend their money very well. And so Kahneman and Tversky, who actually, one of them, I forget which one, actually won a Nobel Prize for their work in economics, realized that people don't actually act in a way to maximize utility, basically maximize their benefit, how they're benefited. Instead, people tend to act in a way that's a little bit more emotional in nature. So they discovered that people tend to be highly risk averse or loss averse. Not risk averse, loss averse. Largely because they tend to react to loss differently than they react to gain. So how did they do this? Well, in some of their early work, they used what was called a task, basically in the task, it's called the Asian disease task, but essentially what happens is the participant, let's say you're the participant, is told that you are in charge of a very small town that has 600 people. Now, an Asian illness has broken out, and it's very deadly. Now, you have two options for dealing with that particular disease. Now, you have two options. One option guarantees that 200 people will be saved. Option two, if you choose option two, there's a 1/3 chance that 200 people will be saved, and a 2/3 chance that, there's a 1/3 chance that all 600 will be saved, and there's a 2/3 chance that all 600 will die. Okay, so you have two options again. One, 200 will be saved. Option two, there's a 1/3 chance that everyone will be saved, and there's a 2/3 chance that no one will be saved. Okay. Now, when Kahneman and Tversky gave people these options, most people tended to choose option A. All right, they tended to choose the option that would guarantee 200 people would be saved. But in this situation, the options are framed in terms of gain, people being saved. And when we frame things in terms of what you can gain, people tend to be very risk averse. All right, they tend to avoid any chances of losing. All right, but when we switch the frame, when we make them loss framed, when we focus them on potential losses, people do the exact opposite. They become very risk prone. So when Kahneman and Tversky instead gave them two different options, so some people had the two options I gave you originally, other people had two different types of options. The first option of this alternative set guaranteed that 400 people would die, but in option two, there was a 1/3 chance that 600 people will not die, and a 2/3 chance that 600 people will die. All right. So when given these options, 400 will die, or there's a 1/3 chance that that 600 people will not die, and a 2/3 chance that 600 people will die. All right. When given these options, instead of going for the certain one like they did before, they all went for the one where there was a chance that everybody could live. So in this situation, they're put in a state of loss, all right, or at least things are termed or framed in terms of losing. People will die, all right. And in this situation, when things were put in terms of loss, people wanted to take risks. They would latch on to that 1/3 chance that 600 people will not die. So when we're in a state of gain, we're getting things, we play it safe. we're risk averse. But when we're in a state of loss, now we want to take risks because we want to undo that loss. All right? Now, largely the reason for this massive, this absolute aversion to loss, if we're in a good state, we stay that way. If we're in a bad state, whoa, we got to fix it. So we'll take risks to fix it. This absolute aversion to loss and this attempt to undo loss if it happens is due to loss aversion. And partly it's due to the way we react to loss compared to the way we react to gain. Essentially, we react to loss far more intensely than we react to gain. In fact, we react to equivalent movements. So equivalent movements from your current status very differently. So let's say currently you have $100, okay? Well, if I were to ask you, if I were to ask you how positively you would react to getting another $100, you might say, well, pretty good, that would be nice, all right? But then if I were to ask you how you would react to losing $100, you would probably say, no, that's not going to happen. You would react to the loss of $100 far more negatively than you react to the gain of $100, then you react positively to the gain of $100. So the way we react to gain is not as intense as the way we react to loss. Even though the movement from your current state is the same, gaining $100 versus losing $100. Even though the movement from your current state is the same, so we would expect based on that you would react as positively to the gain of $100 as you would react negatively to the loss of $100, we would expect that. But that's not what happens. People react more negatively to the loss of $100 than they do positively to the gain of $100. And this largely leads us to be risk averse because we don't like loss. And so we go out of our way to avoid it. And that, I know, brief video, that is all I wanted to talk about with regards to loss aversion. If you want to read more about the work of Kahneman and Tversky, they have some great books out there. You should check it out. Kahneman has a book I just bought here a couple months ago. I'm forgetting the title off the top of my head, but you should check it out. I think the book, the title is something like Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow or something like that. But you should check it out. And that is it for this video over loss aversion. If you have any questions, please send them my way. Other than that, take it easy.